Hey guys, Robbie Falk here from On 3, the Maroon and White Daily, for a quick little check-in on the NCAA tournament for Mississippi State in baseball. No surprise, the Bulldogs made the field after their really strong final 3-week stretch of the season where State went 9-1 to finish out the year and won 3 SEC series. They won 5 of the last 6 SEC series after starting with the worst start in school history. They were 1-9 in SEC play. They finished 15-15. Really admirable job by this team and the staff that's still in place here after the firing of Chris Lemonis to hold this thing together and get these guys playing really good baseball. A hat tip to Justin Parker, Jake Gautreau, and Kyle Cheeseborough for pushing those players, and also for the players for really locking in and playing really good baseball for the last 3 weeks. Disappointing SEC tournament, as you guys saw, a 9-0 loss to Texas A&M, but I kind of see that as an anomaly for how State has been playing in recent weeks. They have a week, really a week and a half, where they've been able to kind of get back in good graces and get back to the playing field that's coming up this weekend, which will be in Tallahassee. Mississippi State going to Florida State for the 5th time in school history. This has been the most played team for Mississippi State in the postseason. State has played FSU 11 times. This has also been the most played regional for Mississippi State going to Tallahassee. They have not gone on the road and played anywhere more than they had Tallahassee. So this will be the 5th trip there. Of course, Mississippi State has won 2 regional championships there. They've lost 2 regional championships there. They lost in 1993 and 2012. And, of course, had that great three-game run in the regional in 2007, highlighted by Justin Pygott's ball game that he pitched against the Seminoles. And then in 2018, coming all the way out of the loser's bracket after losing the first game and winning 4 consecutive games to get to a super regional. It's going to be a tough one. The 2 matchups the State have, particularly in the first 2 games, potentially, is going to set the tone here for the Bulldogs. If they can somehow get through those first 2 games, there is a very high likelihood that State can win this regional. And I mean, that the percentages bear that out if you win those first 2 games. But it really is that way for these 2 matchups. You have Northeastern in Game 1 coming up at 6:30 p.m. on Friday night in Tallahassee. The Huskies are the best pitching staff in the country from a numbers perspective. Now, this team plays in the Coastal Athletic Association, which has 3 teams with a record above 500 this year. So the competition has not been good for Northeastern. But they play who they play. And right now they're 48-9. They have the most wins of any team in the country. If they win 2 games in this regional, they'll be the quickest of 50 wins this year. 48-9 with 27 straight wins. This team has not lost a game since early April. And that feat is incredible in itself. I don't care what the competition is. To not stub your toe against anybody is really amazing. They won the regular season championship. They lost 2 conference games. Then they won the conference tournament on Sunday. So this is a team that is playing as well as anybody in the country. They don't know how to lose right now. And it's going to be tough. And when you look at the numbers, they're extremely impressive. Again, you play who you play, and their numbers are incredible. A 2.92 earner average leads the country. 6.95 hits per 9 innings leads the country. 3.49 strikeout to walk ratio leads the country. And 17 shutouts on the year leads the country. The next closest shutouts was Iowa with 9. This is the only team in the country that has 10-plus shutouts, and they've done it 17 times. So 17 out of 48 games, they've held the team to 0 runs. So this is going to be a really difficult ball game. Likely going to see Will Jones out of the gates. Will Jones has an earned average under 2, and on the season has been really good. Only 17 walks on the year and 69 in the 3rd innings. And then behind him, they have 2 really good starters as well. Jordan Gottsman, both of those guys top 15 in the country in earned run average. And then Avon Cabral, who is also under a 3 earned run average. So their top 3 starters all under 3 runs, and their earned run average. 236 strikeouts between those 3, just 48 walks. So numbers-wise, this is the best rotation in college baseball. Again, you have to consider who they're playing, but you also have to give them credit for doing what they've done. Offensively, nothing to sneeze at either. 290 batting average with 76 home runs. The power isn't great. It's very top-heavy with their top two hitters, Harrison Feinberg, who's the co-CAA Player of the Year. Batted .379 this year with 75 hits, 18 home runs, and 66 RBI. And then Cam Maldonado, who's also an outfielder for them, .371 average, leads the team in hits and doubles with 78 hits and 17 doubles, and he has 15 home runs. A large chunk of their home runs come from these two guys. They have another guy with 10 home runs, so they're not going to hit a lot of home runs. But where they really beat teams is on the base paths. 192 stolen bases this year, which is just incredible when you look at that. That is second in the country. Just for comparison's sake, Mississippi State has 42 stolen bases. So over 150 more stolen bases from Northeastern than Mississippi State does. That's a very dangerous team. When they get on the bases, they're going to run. And Mississippi State has been susceptible to giving up stolen bases. So it is it's concerning. It's a very concerning matchup for game one. And if you get through that, all of a sudden you're playing the best left-handed pitcher in college baseball and a guy that could easily go the top pick in the draft this year, Jamie Arnold. Arnold has been really good this year. 7-2, 304 under an average, 97 strikeouts, just 24 walks in 71 innings. And just really electric stuff. Probably the best stuff in the country from a left-hander. He's going to be touching 95, so it's not overpowering fastball, but really good fastball for a left-handed pitcher. And then a sweeping slider that's just incredibly difficult to hit. He has a changeup in there. He's going to be tough. He's going to be really tough to get through. If Mississippi State gets through that game one, then you have to deal with this guy. State has not been a team that is just it's been impossible for them to hit a really good left-handed pitcher this year. We've seen it already with LSU ace Cade Anderson, and I was going to pull up his stats real quick in that game. Probably one of the best approaches I've seen from a Mississippi State team this year, and they ultimately lost this game 8-6. But that was on State's bullpen more than anything. Against Cade Anderson, I think it was a season low, or at least an SEC low in innings pitched. He only lasted 4 1/3. State worked his pitch count up to 101. That's what you're going to have to do here. Fouling off pitches, really good approach, maybe laying off that sweeping slider a little bit. 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks against Cade Anderson. It was one of his rougher outings that he had. And he leads the ball game, and State was in position. They had a 6-2 lead in that game in the 5th inning when he left, and then you just give up a 5 spot the next inning. But you see, this guy has great stuff. This guy has, like I said, probably the best stuff in the country, especially from a left-handed pitcher. But State's seen really, really good pitching all year long. It shouldn't be something that just completely overpowers them, especially how the offense has been seeing it lately. I know they had the shutout against A&M, and Ryan Prager really carved them up. Hopefully you don't see that again. But if you do get in that situation, State has seen really good pitching this year. It shouldn't be one of those things where they're just completely overpowered. But like I said, Arnold has been really good. Outside of him, Florida State has not been overwhelming on the mound. He has been their guy. And after that, it hasn't been just great. It's kind of been, a lot like Mississippi State's numbers from a pitching perspective. So if you can get into that bullpen and you have a chance where you got the game close, you got a good opportunity in that game, but it's going to be tough. Alex Lotus for Florida State, one of the best hitters in college baseball, .415 average, leads all Power 4 teams, and he's top 10 in the country. 90 hits. He's closing in on 100 hits this year, 18 doubles, 17 home runs. That park plays to the long ball. Both State and Florida State coming up on 100 home runs. State had a lot of home runs in that regional back in 2018. So this is an a game if State gets to it where they're going to have to keep the ball down, try to keep it in the park and pitch it and play as good as you can on the defensive side of the ball. Very similar lineup to what we saw from Virginia last year. And the exception is Florida State's pitching staff is probably a little better than Virginia. So it's to me, a very similar matchup to what we saw with State and Virginia last year. And the difference, obviously, I think State is not as strong pitching-wise this year, but the offense, I think, is a little better. So, we'll see what happens. And then the other team, the four seed, is Bethune-Cookman, who they won the SWAC championship on Sunday on a walk-off 3-run home run. 37-21 on the year, 24-5 in their league. They've been really good. Their starting pitching's been solid. Haven't played great competition, obviously, but they're going to be able to swing the bats a little bit. They were really powerful from a offensive standpoint. 307 average, 127 doubles, 84 home runs, and they stole 128 bases. So it's a tough regional. It really is. I think for Florida State, they're probably looking at it and saying we got screwed. So for all four teams, it's not an easy regional. I would say Florida State obviously has the edge, being the home team, and that being their ballpark. They now swing the bats. But, once you get Jamie Arnold off the mound, I'm interested to see how Florida State pitches this weekend. So, very interesting regional, very tough regional. But like I said, State has had some success against Florida State. They're 7-4 all time against the Seminoles in the postseason. This has been a matchup that's been seen many, many times now. And now Mississippi State, this 2025 team, they have a chance to kind of stamp their legacy with Florida State in the postseason. So looking forward to it. We'll have full coverage for you coming over the weekend. We'll be in Tallahassee, making my second trip down there. Went in 2018. Hopefully I can bring some good luck and maybe some magic like we saw from Elijah McNamee and those guys back in 2018. But it should be an interesting one, and I'm looking forward to it. But we'll have some more coverage over on the site if you guys want to go over there. Like I said, I have that early look for the Tallahassee Regional for a little deeper dive into what to expect. Did it right after the selection, so haven't had a chance to really dig into these three teams, but just kind of a surface level look at what to expect from all three of those teams as we head into a big regional weekend. Still have a coaching search going on, and I don't expect any news to come from that from a formality standpoint until Mississippi State's season ends. And even then, probably going to be whoever the coach is, you'll have to wait for his season to end as well. So that's something that we're just kind of waiting and seeing. Anytime I have new information, I'll come to the message board and give you guys that information. Again, you guys can sign up right now, $1 for 3 months. So anytime you see that information coming across, you got it at your fingertips. But appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great week, great Memorial Day as well. Appreciate our servicemen and women, those especially that have already given the ultimate sacrifice and, really helped give us a country that we can not only be proud of, but a place where we can have free speech and we can have the freedoms that we have. You take that for granted when you look at some of these other countries and what they go through on a daily basis. There are people out there that didn't know who you or I were, but they gave the ultimate sacrifice for us and willingly did it. So just a major thank you to those people. We can never repay that, but it's appreciated nonetheless, and appreciate all the veterans, the people that are still here with us that paid the sacrifice too of going overseas and fighting for us, or even those that didn't go overseas, that you went through basic training, you went through the whole shooting match there. Even if you didn't go overseas and fight for us, we still appreciate your service for our country, and those that are serving right now appreciate you as well. But thank you guys. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Follow us over at Maroon and White Daily on social media accounts, and come join us over at Maroon and White Daily. Come join our community. we'd love to have you. But other than that, I will catch you guys later this week for some more coverage of Mississippi State sports. We'll be in Tallahassee. We'll have that regional covered, and looking forward to it then. All right, guys. Catch you down the road.